It's Chillmonger, and I'm reviewing Kamala Khan. This is a variant cover of Ken. It is of Miles Morales. They're celebrating him. I liked how the colorist did this on this page. I disliked how the colorist did the colors on the inside pages. They're too simple. Except for whenever they got to like the Chicago like bean. This was on. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, put in that work. That's what I like looking at. But before we get to that page, first page pops up. We're in Chicago, the Windy City. Like I love that. Like, Chicago has like subsects, but they went with the Windy City. There is a book that she's reading that's about the wasp over there. I did get this thought. Why did we go to Chicago for this unknown character who just created now? Probably is not going to be followed up on. Instead of going to the wasp herself. Or we're in Chicago. How about Riri Williams? All we need is someone smart who understands multiverse, and the job would have been accomplished. And he might have picked up a few hundred sales. You know, there are people who love Nadia, who love Riri, who would get this comic if they knew she was in it. They do have them. I am not claiming that there are many, but that would have been better. But there was a goal here to introduce this character who happened to be, was she a doctor, was she? And she was a scientist, rather. All right. You can see that the representation in this comic was to show you that doctors come in this color too. She's a Pakistani doctor. I said doctor. I keep saying doctor. Sorry, her technical term was, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? My parents suggested visiting my cousin Razia because she's a good influence, a brilliant physicist. Physicist. She's gonna say something here. Kamala Khan said something that's bizarre to me. She goes, travel to the multiverse? Ooh, I could get another stand in my interdimensional passport if that was a thing. I don't care about that. That's something cute that a kid would say. But why would you say travel to the multiverse? If you're going to leave a comment, leave it on this topic. To the multiverse? Aren't you already in a multiverse? If you were going to travel to the multiverse, it sounds like you're not in it already. You're going to travel through the multiverse, that works. But to travel the multiverse is a thumbs down on me. Who was editing this comic book? It was Lee Lauren Bison. No longer is it, what's her name? Alana Smith. I think she was the one who was taking care of this stuff. But now it's her. It's Lauren and Stacy Zucker as the production designer. We got the associate editor Caitlin O'Connell. New names. I don't remember seeing these names, which is probably also why this read the way it did. One of these editors or the writer or all are a fan of Kamala. The amount of callbacks to the lore that she's been through, even explaining in that little bit about how she gets her power from time. It would be this page here with the beautiful reflection. You gotta admit, that is a lovely looking image over there. And the words exactly are, that closed system is how I get my powers. I borrow matter from my future self and return it when I go back to my regular present self. That's her. If you didn't know, that's how you know. I was hoping for Al Ewing to go and dig through that, but this was taken here by Samira Ahmed, and that's the power of Kamala Khan explained pretty simple if you're new to her. This read like a number one for an ongoing series, not a number one for a limited series where we got certain things to do and hit. So I'm upset about that. There's this image here where she is at Chicago as a tourist, and of course, when you're a tourist, you show up there. You're not the only one who's a tourist showing up there. Look at the diverse images of these people who are not white folks, traditional American, or the most popular, or the it's not majority either. Whatever the effing word is for, they're the most represented. It's white people. But no, everyone who's visiting here, you can see some Japanese tourists down there, and so I got the feeling that the point of this comic, or lots of points in here, were just to show diversity, especially when they got to the food. I think I've mentioned food about every time there's a comic book character who's not white, and they make an effort to go to the fridge to name something, to name the food item, because if you want to display culture, easiest way to do that is through the food. And it's never just the artist happens to be drawing the food in the plate. Like earlier, when she was just eating donuts over here, You could have that, but you could have that food that Kamala mentions later on when she gets to her fridge that I can't pronounce. I'm not sure what it is either. Sure tastes good. It was like it had meat in it, didn't it? What was she eating here? She said, like I'd ever really lose my appetite. I'm not gonna let my parents' PDA come between me and a Kimi paratha. You know what I mean? Like, all right, guys, creamy paratha. I'll be looking at that next time I go Indian. You know, next time I try eating food from that restaurant, I'll look up for the creamy paratha. Okay, is that what it is? A comic book. We have only 20 pages here, and I feel like a lot of the pages were spent on diversity. There is this image here, which shows you everything she's kind of been through, and that's what I mean by it. It reads like an ongoing series. Is her being the chosen one in that picture there? Is that going to play a part in today's story? In this 5 issue limited series, I don't think they're touching on how she became an Avenger. I don't think they're touching on the Cradle stuff. Maybe they're probably that. Maybe that'll still be relevant. But the origin and everything, I think you just wanted to do the double page thing, and you're gonna do it later on when she visits and goes through this whole multiversal thing. You're gonna do the same thing where you open the 2 pages and you can see there's a Kamala with a blonde wig, there's a selfie Kamala and a kissing Kamala. We did it here. We got to keep doing it. A lot of variant Kamalas actually, and yes, it's because she touched a glowy thing. You know, cliche comic book stuff. Yeah, not big on that. I did skip through a plot point. What was it? No, actually, that was the kind of most of the things I was going to talk about here. It wasn't too awesome, but when you get to the end and get through the Bollywood, I've complained about the culture stuff. It's just kind of in here, but when you get to who's in that elephant, it's none other than our homie Loki. And I love when the final page is a big image, but also there's words there too. Make the most of it. And she goes, "Come on, she can embiggen." She's having a little trouble with her size after that multiversal thing she went through. At first, it was like, let me get these arms, let me get this hand small, and it didn't work. It did work slowly, but now it's like she's going through troubles with her powers. So there is a comic book story in here. There's a superhero story in here, but the rest of it was like, I gotta make my mark. I've got to display things that I want to be in the zeitgeist. And it's not just one or two, it's like the whole comic will have it. It was not a it wasn't an exceptional integration, on my opinion. This is my YouTube channel. If you liked it, if you're like, no, that's perfect. If you thought the PDA thing wasn't accurate. Let's be real. Come on, guys. But also Kamal played into it too. And I'll give the PDA a pass. You know why? The public display of affection, by the way. That's what PDA is. When the parents are watching this thing, and the reason that they're holding hands and sitting lovingly is because this is the first movie they went to. Fine, I'll give you a pass for that. And it being weird was what made Kamala like, oh, this is a unique thing that happens. So yeah. But everybody, then again, maybe she Samira Ahmed, maybe she's trying to break down barriers, and maybe she's trying to say let's get rid of the stigma. Let's normalize the parents loving each other. And that's not so bad either. That's not so bad at all. Okay? Okay. Was the comic good? The comic was passable. Loki saved it towards the end because I remember that he had a thing at her school, and I was wondering, when is Loki going to show back up in Kamala's world? And here he is. Wonderful. So wonderful. It's good. It's a good comic book. I would recommend picking it up if you're a Kamala fan because of all of the callbacks that you get. But I can see how a new read. No, but it is new reader friendly too, isn't it? Because they break down her whole bio, don't they? I just spent the last 9 minutes saying what I didn't like about it. But yeah, I can see why you would prefer it. I can see why you wouldn't like it either. This is YouTube where we still have a comment section. No dislikes, but we have a comment section. Let me know how you guys feel about Kamala Khan. Do 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 do. Kamala Khan. Okay. Subscribe to the channel by clicking on that smiley face. And this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, as of right now, I'm still planning on doing a Burning Questions stream. And it's Christmas Day. That's why I'm saying I'm still planning on it. But yeah, Saturday, I got to be consistent. That's my schedule.